Today we are going to discuss overriding. That means this is an example to demonstrate how overriding and what is the function of overriding. Here, figure. This is figure which is a base class. Figure has two dimensions, two double values, dimension dim1 and dim2, and figure has a constructor. That means if it is passing a constructor with the two double values, then dim1 is set as the first one and dim2 is set as the second one. Then area is system dot out dot println, that is printing area of figure is undefined. That means he, here this is a, a, a method which has to be overridden. That means here this is an area method. This is a method, and if this area is printed, then area of the figure is undefined. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, now here this is another class we are going to create, which is a subclass of this figure. That means rectangle. Rectangle is a figure. In that case, you're going to have you're going to create a rectangle which is a subclass of figure. So when that object is called, what will happen? Rectangle is having its constructor is having two parameters, the a and b, and when that constructor is called, it is calling superclass constructor, then definitely dim1 and dim2 are set. Okay. Now the area, that means here double area of, here see in the parent class here we have double area, and in the subclass also you have the same method with the same name, same method signature. That means it is returning double, the name is area, and it is a parameterless method. Then that is again called. Then what will happen? So leave it for some time, and then another class which is triangle you have created, and that is also a subclass of figure. That means figure is having two subclasses, one is the rectangle and the other is triangle. Here again it is calling it is having a constructor triangle double a and double b. In that case, superclass constructor is called using super ab, and here in this case the area is defined as dimension 1 into dimension 2 divided by 2. For the rectangle case, area is dimension 1 into dimension 2, because suppose that the length and breadth are the dimensions, so then length into breadth is its area. Here triangle, suppose that it is a right angle triangle, then length into breadth divided by 2. Okay, then what will happen if find areas of, or this is find areas is the class in which this public static void main or the entry point of this application program. And now you are going to define an object f which is of type figure, new figure 10 means, now for this figure object f you have this dim1 and dim2 are set as 10. Now you are going to create a rectangle or new rectangle 9 5. That means now you are going to create a rectangle object which is having dimensions 9 and 5. Again you have created a triangle object in which dim1 and dim2 are 10 and 8 respectively. So now you have three objects. One is the base object f in which dim1 and dim2 are 10 and 10. Then for the rectangle those values are 9 and 5, and for the triangle you have those values 10 and 8. Now figure reference means you are going to create a reference variable figure. That means you are not going to create that object, you are just defining a reference variable. Now one important point you should note, that if you have a class A, another class B and another class C, and if B is the subclass of A and C is the subclass of B, then the parent classes or the base class is a, and suppose that you have created a reference variable of the base class, then you can reference that to a subclass objects. For example, here figure is the base class, and here you have defined a reference variable which is reference variable is figure ref. It is a reference variable which should be pointed to a figure object. But in Java, one important point you should note that if you have a subclass which is derived from the parent class figure, then this figure reference variable can point to that object also. Okay, that means any subclass objects, whatever be the hierarchy, if you have a base class reference variable, it can point to a subclass object. So for that, here you have here you have you have created three variables, or you have three objects, and now you have created another reference variable figure ref. Now initially you are going to set it as r. R means now it is pointing to the rectangle you have created, and when you are printing the area of that, that means area is figure ref dot area, means now it is printing when this figure of is pointing to r, that means it is a rectangle and its dimensions are 9 and 5. When that is called, what will happen in this figure, system dot out dot figure of dot area means as it is pointing to a rectangle, then rectangle area, that means here you have defined the rectangle area. This is the rectangle area. Inside area of rectangle is dimension 1 into dimension 2, that will be printed, or that is not printing actually, it will return that value. Okay, it will return that value. Now if figure reference is equal to t, means now it is pointing to that triangle, and in that case that triangle, that means this is pointing to triangle, that means when figure reference dot area is called, then the method inside that triangle subclass will be executed, and in the third case, if figure reference is equal to f, what will happen, it is printing, that means figure reference area of the base class. Base class figure reference area is area of figure is not defined, so this will be printed. So now we are going to check what happened. So I'm going to execute it. Okay, the find areas, Java C find areas dot Java. Okay, that is compiled. Now Java find areas. So see, inside area of rectangle, that means when this reference variable, so see these are the three cases, and when this figure reference variable is pointing to rectangle, it will print inside area of rectangle, area is 45, which is 9 into 5. And for the second case, when figure reference is equal to t, it is pointing to a triangle, inside area of triangle, then it is 9 into triangle is 10 into 8 is 80 divided by 2, which is 40. And if it is pointing to figure reference variable figure, then what will happen, it will print area of figure is undefined. Okay.